Have you ever noticed how some people seem to get away with almost anything? They make mistakes and people excuse them. They say something average and people call them brilliant. They behave badly and somehow others still defend them. Meanwhile, someone else can do everything right and still get criticized. Why? Because most people are not judging reality. They're judging an illusion. And that illusion is called the halo effect. The halo effect is one of the most powerful psychological biases in human behavior. Once people see one positive trait in you, they automatically assume you have many other positive traits, even when there is no evidence. And the scary part? Most people don't even realize they're doing it. Today, we're going to break down the psychology behind the halo effect, how it manipulates attraction, success, leadership, relationships, social media, and everyday life. And by the end of this video, you'll start noticing it everywhere. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's begin. Imagine two strangers walk into a room. One is attractive, confident, and well-dressed. The other is average-looking and nervous. Most people instantly assume the first person is smarter, more competent, more trustworthy, and more successful. Not because they know anything about them, but because the brain loves shortcuts. The human brain processes millions of pieces of information every second. To save energy, it creates mental shortcuts called cognitive biases. The halo effect is one of those shortcuts. The brain sees one positive quality and unconsciously paints the rest of the picture. Attractive? Must be intelligent. Confident? Must be competent. Successful? Must be trustworthy. Most people never stop to question those assumptions. They simply feel true. And that's what makes the halo effect so dangerous. Because feelings often replace facts. Most people believe they're objective. They're not. They're emotional creatures who later invent logical explanations. The halo effect influences hiring decisions every day. Studies repeatedly show that attractive job applicants are often rated more favorably than less attractive applicants with identical qualifications. Think about that. Two people can have the same skills, the same education, the same experience, yet one gets the opportunity because they created a better first impression. Not because they're better, because they're perceived to be better. Most men miss this. Success is not always about competence. It's often about perception. The world likes to believe it's fair. Psychology suggests otherwise. But the halo effect doesn't stop at careers. It becomes even more powerful in relationships. Have you ever met someone attractive and immediately overlooked red flags? Maybe they were selfish. Maybe they were disrespectful. Maybe they were emotionally unavailable. But because you found them attractive, your brain started making excuses. You didn't see reality. You saw potential. You saw what you wanted to believe. This is why people often stay in toxic relationships longer than they should. The halo effect creates psychological blindness. When someone possesses a trait we admire, we unconsciously ignore traits we shouldn't. Their beauty becomes a shield. Their charm becomes a disguise. Their confidence becomes camouflage. And suddenly, obvious problems become invisible. This is where it gets worse. Psychologists discovered this bias decades ago when participants were asked to rate people after learning only one positive characteristic about them. Again and again, the same thing happened. Once participants liked one trait, they gave higher ratings to completely unrelated traits. One positive impression contaminated the entire judgment. In other words, people weren't evaluating facts, they were evaluating feelings. And most of us still do exactly the same thing today. The halo effect doesn't just influence how we see others, it influences how others see us. Think about celebrities. When a famous actor promotes a product, people assume the product is good. Why? The actor isn't an engineer. They didn't design it. They didn't test it. But because they're successful in one area, people assume they're credible in another. That's the halo effect. One positive quality spills into unrelated areas. The same thing happens on social media. A person with millions of followers is often viewed as intelligent, wise, and authoritative. But popularity is not proof of expertise. Attention is not competence. Visibility is not wisdom. Yet people confuse these things every day. Because the halo effect tricks the brain into connecting dots that don't actually belong together. And social media has amplified this bias to levels never seen before. A beautiful face gains attention. Attention creates followers. Followers create credibility. Credibility creates influence. And influence creates power, whether that power is deserved or not. That's why some people become experts without expertise. Most people aren't following knowledge, they're following perception. Now let's talk about confidence, because confidence creates one of the strongest halo effects in existence. When someone speaks with certainty, people assume they know what they're talking about, even when they're wrong. Research has shown that people often prefer confident answers over accurate answers. Think about that. Confidence can sometimes beat competence. This is why charismatic leaders can attract followers despite making terrible decisions. People mistake certainty for intelligence. They mistake confidence for capability. And the halo effect fills in the blanks. The brain says, "He sounds like he knows what he's doing." So people stop questioning. They stop analyzing. They stop thinking critically. And that's where manipulation begins. Most people miss another hidden danger. The halo effect works on themselves too. If you believe you're good at one thing, you may start overestimating your ability in completely unrelated areas. Success can create arrogance. Praise can create blind spots. A winning streak can create overconfidence. And suddenly you stop learning because you assume you're already right. The halo effect isn't only a trap for followers, it's also a trap for leaders. But here's the important question. Can you use the halo effect ethically? Absolutely. Because understanding psychology doesn't mean exploiting people. It means understanding how perception works. You can improve first impressions, dress better, improve your posture, speak clearly, take care of your health, develop confidence. These aren't manipulations, they're signals, and signals matter. Whether we like it or not, people judge quickly, very quickly, sometimes within seconds. The goal isn't to become fake. The goal is to ensure your positive qualities are visible, because invisible strengths often go unnoticed. The reality is simple. The most competent person doesn't always win. The most visible competence often wins. That's not cynical. That's psychology. But there's another side to this lesson. Learn to resist the halo effect when judging others. Don't assume attractive people are trustworthy. Don't assume confident people are intelligent. Don't assume successful people are wise. Don't assume popular people are right. Separate the trait from the person. Ask for evidence. Look at actions. Look at consistency. Look at results. Because reality lives in behavior, not appearances. The smartest people understand that first impressions can be useful, but they also understand they can be wrong. The halo effect is powerful because it feels natural. It feels obvious. It feels true. And that's exactly why it fools so many people. The next time you instantly admire someone, pause. Ask yourself, what do I actually know about this person? And what am I simply assuming? That one question can protect you from manipulation, bad decisions, toxic relationships, costly mistakes, and false heroes. Because the halo effect doesn't change reality, it changes perception. And perception, when left unchecked, can become a very convincing lie. The people who see through the halo effect gain an advantage that most people never develop. They stop being hypnotized by appearances. They stop confusing image with substance. And they start seeing people for who they actually are, not who they appear to be. And in a world obsessed with appearances, that might be one of the rarest skills you can have. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more psychology insights that reveal how people think, behave, manipulate, influence, and make decisions. Because understanding psychology isn't about controlling others. It's about seeing clearly in a world full of illusions.